Conditions apply. The time by Sagicor Bank is...
It is 7 o'clock. Time now for the Morning Watch.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org, and if you're overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM, Facebook, and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, was the movement of the mask mandate a mistake? And in the second watch, the TikTok Hear the Children's Cry partnership. For our social media question, we ask, what are your thoughts on the moving of the mask mandate? Please share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's I quote.
I quote for this morning: your children need your presence, not your presents, from Jesse Jackson. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning, Roshin. Yeah, man. And of course, the different spellings there: Presence vis-a-vis Presents.
Yes.
I believe that children need both Presence as well as Presents.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. But the priority,
as a boy, you enjoyed receiving presents, right, Rashid?
I did receive.
Yes.
Yeah, but I kind of miss the opportunity of spending more time with my dad. When I think about it, it doesn't matter how many gifts you can give a child. You cannot really buy, their presents, having them around and stuff like that. So I'm kind of leaning towards, what this quotation is, Mr. Jesse Jackson is speaking about this morning. So I'm kind of leaning to
both of them are important. Well said. The first watch will be back after this break.
All right, not a problem.
Get ready for another Testimony Tuesday inside Alive, 1 to 5, April 26. 2 o'clock will be time for Prayer Blast. More prayer, more power. 2:15 inside the evidence. We hear from gospel recording artist Chosen about his experience with COVID-19. Then at 3 p.m., we go behind the pulpit for part 2 with Bible School founder, academic dean, Bishop Apostle Dr. Romian Facey of the Freedom Evangelical Association. All this and more will come your way inside Alive, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. with me, your host, Sarah Ann, the Chirpy One, on the family station, Love 101.
The Mansfield United Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands present Evangelism Explosion Crusade 2022 under the theme, Get Ready for the Flight. Speakers: Reverend Howard Gotti Reynolds, Reverend Ronsford Hewitt, Reverend Joy Cameron, and Reverend Rodson Walters. April 24 to May 1, 2022 at 7 p.m. Come and be blessed.
The first sound they make is to simply let the world know they're here. And then it's our duty to help them show the world why they're here in the first place.
Give them every advantage with the Guardian Achiever, a plan that provides for their educational dreams and protects their health and life in the process. For more information, call 888-4LIFE to speak to an advisor or visit myguardiangroup.com.
and stream all day when you activate any Prime Brata bundle for as low as $175. Enjoy local minutes to stay in touch with friends and family on the go or your yard. Yeah, you dial *147 number sign from your Digicel phone or activate in the My Digicel app. Digicel, made in Jamaica.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, after months of restrictions and regulations under the Disaster Risk Management Act, on April 15, the COVID-19 pre-test mandate for entry into the country was lifted. Also lifted was the mask mandate for people in enclosed public spaces. In this, the first what we are asking, was the movement of the mask mandate a mistake? And to help us answer this and other related questions, we have online Dr. Brian James, President of the Medical Association of Jamaica, and Dr. Garth Rattray, family physician. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Good morning, Rev. Morning.
All right, good to have you both with us. All right, doctors, let's cut to the chase. In your view, was the movement of the mask mandate a mistake, and tell us why? Beginning with you, Dr. James.
Well, when I answer questions like those, I tend to avoid the more emotive words involved. What I would say is that given what I'm aware of in relation to the pandemic, in relation to where COVID was at the time on April 15, I would have retained the mask mandate. And for the simple reason that the wearing of masks has not been shown to have any negative effects, any health effects that precludes its use, certainly not above age 2. And secondly, it has been demonstrated fairly conclusively that the wearing of masks is helpful in fighting the spread of this disease. And I note that when it was announced that the mandate was going to be removed, it was also announced that the wearing of masks is strongly supported. And we know how Jamaicans are. We know how Jamaicans have been. Even in the face of the mandate, it was quite difficult to get significant numbers of Jamaicans to wear the mask. So if you take it away, there's no law against it and so on, but you think it is beneficial, then you are going to get a lot less people wearing it and therefore a lot less people protected.
Interesting. Dr. Rattray, your response?
Well, I agree, sir. It was bad enough before when it was quote unquote mandatory, but now it's really horrible. In fact, somebody I know went to us somewhere day for yesterday, and the security guard chided her for wearing a mask. He was saying, "You don't need it anymore, take it off," and he was carrying on really badly. We think she's strong-willed. True story. So my point is that I think I use the word mistake. I like that. It was a big mistake, I think, to stop to say it's not, you don't wear the mask anymore indoors if you want, because if left up to their own devices, people would just not do anything whatsoever. You have to have some rules in place, and even when you have rules, my point is that they're not usually followed.
I would think, doctors, that the decision would have been guided, informed by medical personnel. How does one explain the fact of what you both are agreeing to and yet still the mandate has been removed. Dr. James?
Yeah, well, that's not all that difficult. So I'm not sure exactly what level of consultation happened. I would assume that there would be a lot happened when this decision was made. But the question put to the medical persons, to the public health persons, would have been, what is the risk level at this time in relation to the wearing of masks? And even if it was low at that time, that doesn't, you then, as a policymaker, would have to make the decision. So do I remove the mandate or do I keep it? And the decision was made. That now I'm not sure exactly all of the things that went into making that decision. The decision was made to remove it. If I had all the information that I have now, and I had at that time, then I would not have removed it. And it is fairly straightforward in my mind, as Dr. Achi was just saying. When I drove sort of twice a week, I drive through rural towns. And I have this way of sort of just checking, counting the 100 people that I pass and how many of them are wearing masks. There was a time when up to sort of 25 or 30% of people I was seeing in masks in some of the rural communities that I passed through in St. Thomas. Last Saturday, I passed through about 3 or 4 of them and downtown Kingston. And there were very, very few people wearing masks. Very few, less than 10%.
Right. Dr. Rachi, your take on that?
Well, sir, I remember, I think it was last year before last, Parliament made a decision, which I can't remember now. And somebody asked the Minister of Health, what's that? And he said it was a parliamentary decision, which is to say he wouldn't have done that as Minister of Health. In fact, look at America. Look at this judge, a Trump-appointed judge, who decided public health policy on airplanes. So, we are all messed up. I think something like this should be definitely a Minister of Health decision, and it should never be in the hands of a politician to make a decision like that, because there are too many other factors besides public health that come into play. And so that's why we are where we are today. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Still with you, Dr. Rachi, in light of the fact that we have been hearing from the authorities, both locally and internationally, that we'll have to learn how to live with the virus. Will there ever be an ideal time for the movement of the mask mandate?
Yes, but I don't know how soon it will happen. If the virus doesn't mutate into something more aggressive or more deadly, then I suspect in a few months or probably next year, we could say, you know what, unless you have a cold or you are especially vulnerable, you don't have to wear a mask. I think it will get to that. But the problem is that, without a mask, we are lucky, I think, because I think we're having some amount of natural immunity going on to save us, because we're not very vaccinated. I think it's 26% vaccinated now.
You use the word luck, Dr. Rachi?
Luck, sir, because it's not with our doing. It's nature doing it. Nothing we did to do this. It doesn't. Nature did it, because believe me, we're not very, very obedient. So my point is that I believe that it will come a time that it will tail off, unless the virus mutates, and it is mutating, but not dangerously right now. As you know, the BA2 is here, and it can do anything. That's the thing. It can do anything it wants to do. There's nothing we are doing now to sort of quiet it down. It can do whatever it wants to do, because nature is saving us. But the minute it does something different, we'll be in trouble. But let's just say it doesn't happen. I would say by the end of the year, the next year, only vulnerable people and people who think they're feeling sick would have to wear a mask.
Your take on that, Dr. James?
Well, to pick up a little bit on what Dr. Rachi was saying, the virus, you asked a question about
ideal. Is there an ideal time?
Right. I mean, but from the point of view of what the virus does, it really doesn't care how tired we are of COVID restrictions or how difficult we find them. The virus is a biological system, and its mandate is to reproduce. It will reproduce wherever it finds a susceptible host. If you are
Tell you what,
not
Dr.
wearing
James.
masks,
Dr. James, I'm so sorry.
yes.
We're up on a break. We just hold that thought. We'll be right back.
Okay, though.
Morning, Sister Mary. See me bring you a few things to help you out this week.
Thank you, my love. I don't know how I would have managed without the church family.
No problem, sister. By the way, may I have some good news for you. You hear about the social pension program?
Social what?
Social pension.
No. What that?
Government bring in a new program that provide money for older people like you who don't have no steady income, no pension, and don't benefit from no government program. Them pay it out every 2 months.
You think me we qualify?
You did help to build this country. And now that you all and you struggle, that make you qualify.
That's true. So what me have to do to get it?
Well, you have to take your documents and apply down at the Ministry of Labour and Social Security office. Then they'd start taking application from in May, and some people will start get the money from middle of July.
Sister Keisha, that sound good. But I don't know if I can manage all that up and down to go apply and then go collect money a month time, you know. Me not so strong again.
Ministry of that covered, Sister Mary. You can appoint an agent to help you with that if you can't manage.
Why, it's good to know that government looking out for we old people. We make a contribution and now we don't have nothing.
The government of Jamaica has introduced a social pension program for elderly Jamaicans who do not live in a government care institution or receive cash grants from any welfare program and who do not receive a pension or NIS benefits. You can't afford to miss out. Visit the Ministry of Labour and Social Security's office in your parish to apply. You must take your birth certificate, a government ID card, your NIS and TRN cards, and your bank account details to facilitate payment of your benefits. Don't have a bank account? Not to worry. We will pay your benefits through a remittance agency. Apply now. For more information, call 876-922-8007 or check the ministry's website at www.mlss.gov.jm. The Social Pension Program, caring for our elderly. A message from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
Things you can do online with NCB in 10.6 minutes or less. On your marks, go! Open a bank account. Open an investment account. Get a fast cash or pay advance loan. Sign up for our mobile app and pay bills, make transfers, and check your balances. Get pre-qualified for your dream home. Apply for a credit card. Apply for an auto loan to buy your dream car. Visit www.jncb.com/getdigital to get your financial goals moving NCB fast.
Do you have a heart condition? Your care should be in the hands of our experienced cardiovascular team at Partners Interventional Center of Jamaica. We're one of the leading heart centers for angiogram, stenting, pacemakers, EP studies, and ablation therapy. PICJ has the expertise and latest technology to treat all your heart needs. Call 876-995-7425 or email info@pic-jm.com for appointments. PICJ, your partners for life.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this day, First Watch, we are examining the question, was the movement of the mask mandate a mistake? And in so doing, we have online Dr. Garth Rattray, family physician and newspaper columnist, and Dr. Brian James, president of the Medical Association of Jamaica. Thanks for staying with us, gentlemen. Dr. James, before the break, you were responding to the question, in essence, will there ever be an ideal time for the movement of the mask mandate?
Right. Yes, I was. But a point that I wanted to make is in relation to something that you said as well, about people saying that we should learn to live with the virus. I absolutely believe that we should, but I have a totally different understanding of learning to live with the virus than what appears to be common out there. Learning to live with the virus is, over the past 2 years, we've learned what are the things that we should do to prevent ourselves from becoming infected with the virus. We should wear our masks, we should wash our hands and stay away from crowds. And we learn the thing, and we should get vaccinated. And we should learn the things that increase our vulnerability, which is basically not doing all of those things. So learning to live with the virus means that there are lessons that you've learned from experiencing the pandemic, and you should put them in place. In terms of when the mask is to be discontinued, we will find that out when the levels of virus circulation in the society are low enough that the risk is low enough. And right now, we cannot remove a mask mandate at the point when there is a subvariant ravaging some parts of the world that we trade with quite significantly. In the US and the UK, they're having significant positive rates with the BA2 variant. And that is the time that we should be protecting ourselves rather than reducing our protection. And so I believe that there will come a time, just like with the flu, there are points when you know you can operate in a relatively normal situation, but you still need to make sure that you cover your nose and mouth when you're coughing or sneezing. Make sure that you isolate in order not to give the others around you. Make sure that you get vaccinated with the flu vaccine if you're vulnerable. But there are ways that we can get rid of some of the mandates and some of the restrictions.
How though, Dr. James, how we determine that time though? That we can say ideally away with the mask, because you'll always have some infection somewhere, some rise of the infection rate somewhere in the world.
But that is one of the things that we have been calling for. We have been calling for constant vigilance and reassessment from our public health experts. But they are trained to establish exactly what the risk levels are, project into the future how the risk levels are going to change. Are we expecting higher numbers soon or lower numbers? And what the benchmark is below which we can stop doing this or stop doing that. If it so happens that the levels are, the continuing endemic levels are high enough for us to continue wearing masks all the time, then they can tell us that. Once it goes below that, they can tell us that as well.
Well, how would you respond though, gentlemen, to the view that you're perhaps being too pessimistic in your outlook on the pandemic? After all, with one of the lowest vaccination rates in the world, Jamaica still has one of the lowest infection rates in the world. Dr. Ratchet.
Well, first of all, I want to say that to the virus, we're just factories. And if you open door to the factory, we're a problem, because not only if you don't manifest infection, they are replicating inside of us, and therefore it makes it likely for it to mutate into something. So we are actually running a great risk of mutation by letting it infect us over and over again. The fact of the matter is that also Dr. James is right. You have to monitor to see what's going on. And what we need is a lot more testing for variants. But the thing about it is that we definitely need to stop giving people the impression that we are panicking. We're not panicking because we know what's going on. We know what can happen. So it's like somebody go there eating salt and everything. We tell them, no, I say, oh, you're overdoing it. No, we know what can happen. And I use the word again without any shame. We're lucky. We're lucky because we could have been much, 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 much worse. I think we are actually having a much higher rate of infection than we know. because I have people come to me. Yeah, man. I got the flu, I have a cold, I got wet, I got exposed to something, and they refuse to get tested.
But the death rate is low. The death rate is low. You see, what I think people are saying is we have been told to watch the figures and the statistics below that 5% region. We are there. We have been hovering there for a long period of time. And persons are therefore saying, what else do we need to be able to just free up the thing?
But remember, they can reduce it, but not remove. Below 5% for 2 weeks consistently. We're now at 7 point something, I believe. We kind of creeping back up, obviously.
It's fluctuating, they say, right?
Right. So below 5%, they can reduce. They didn't say to remove. They're two different things. We can reduce all these rules and all that. But the fact of the matter, again, I say, is that if you do the proper testing, you get a lot higher rate. But lucky for us, I use the word again, not
3
many
times.
deaths are going on. That's okay. not many deaths. And this particular variant, not as deadly as the rest of them. But remember, I'm saying it again, our factory doors are open and they can replicate inside of us and it may mutate. And that is my major worry.
Yeah. Dr. James, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that what Dr. Ratcher was saying is absolutely right. In terms of the number of persons per 1,000 actually catching the virus, we do not really know that. We do not know that at all, because of the low levels of testing, relative low levels of testing that we have. But even more importantly, I think it is fallacious to say that we have better outcomes than anybody else. Because if you look around the world, the world case fatality rate is somewhere in the maybe about 2.3% level, whereas our case fatality rate is a bit higher than that. It's not that when we test somebody positive, they have a lower chance of dying than other persons around the world. They have a slightly higher chance of dying. So although we are lucky that despite our 24% rate, we have less people actually dying from COVID when they test positive. We will also see when they do the excess deaths next year and the year after, we will also see really and truly how many people died because of this COVID pandemic, right? Because a lot of the people who have died, we did not realize that COVID is what caused them to die. When they do an analysis...
Is it that they're not tested, Dr. James? Is it that they're not tested when persons die?
No, it is.
Well, that's COVID related.
That says that once you die, you get tested for COVID. If there is believed to be some other issue involved, then the certificate is issued. The thing is that it is absolutely clear, even from 2019 when China had it, that the numbers in a community, right, would be at least 4 times the numbers that you get when you test. And if you are in a low testing environment, it is even more. So we will see. We will see exactly what our situation is and exactly how lucky we were.
Oh boy, that word again. Dr. Rattray, I think you're going to have the final say. I really just want though to close with a concern I have, even for those who are wearing their masks, quote unquote, that they're not wearing them properly. Could you just close with a few words in terms of proper wearing of the mask?
Okay, so the mask itself is very important. Cloth masks are not that good anymore. You need to get some of these surgical masks or the N95 or a variant of it, and it should fit properly. You shouldn't wear one of those, even those masks for more than 5 days. And even the little surgical ones, after 1 day, throw it away and wear properly over the nose and on the chin. People come to me with this kind of thing, and they pull it down to talk to you and stuff. So proper mask wearing should have a better seal so that things don't get in or out, sir.
What about the twisting of the cord, the string there? People are twisting it and tying the ends. But there's a gap I'm seeing a gap created in between, right? That seems to me to be exposing them.
Yes. If you go to YouTube, it shows you how to do that properly to close the gap. Because to explain now is very tricky, but they should tie it near to here to close that gap here. When people come to my office, they put on another mask or whatever mask they have because I don't trust them because their mask cloth, they're falling off. They have big gaps here and stuff. So I just don't take any chances, sir. And yet, so my point is that YouTube is very helpful in showing how to put on mask properly and what kind of masks to wear. I'll just say that.
Okay. All right. We're totally out of time. Thank you both, gentlemen, for joining us. Continue the good work that you have been doing. Have a productive day.
Thank you. Welcome.
Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
Apply today for DBJ Recovery Line of Credit or Go Digital Loan to help you find a way. The Time by JN Bank Small Business Loans. It is now 7:30, approaching 7:31. You're tuned to Love 101, the family station.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on JN Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. JN Bank will help you find a way.
Importers, traders, brokers, Jamaicans at home and abroad. Want to know more about providing proper invoices to customs and get your valuation questions ventilated? Then join the Jamaica Customs Agency for its CCC Online Engagement Forum. Click, connect, and converse with customs on Thursday, April 28, 2022 from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. under the theme Your Invoice Matters. Visit www.jacustoms.gov.jm to register and to participate. Log on and get it right as Your Invoice Matters. That's Thursday, April 28, 2022 starting at 10:30 a.m. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
It's Easter time at H&L Rapid True Value. From April 21 to 30, get up to 75% off select lighting, houseware, and Hotesh tools. Plus, special offers on building materials. The Easter fun doesn't end there. Don't miss our Easter egg giveaway April 22 to 24. Spend $10,000 excluding GCT for your chance to select an egg and win a shopping spree valued at $100,000. Conditions apply.
Every day I get bigger, every day I get better. I'm a star and I shimmer. Watch me grow, I'm a winner, yeah. Every step that I take, oh yeah. Feeling great cause I'm learning, yeah. I'm a star and I shimmer. Watch me grow, I'm a winner, yeah. La 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 la. Watch me grow with Alacta Plus.
Help support their mental development at this important stage with a unique combination of nutrients from Alacta Plus. This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk.
I mean, if I say don't know all this shot and tally, I have a message to everyone. Get vaccinated. Hey, tourism the main driver of the local economy. It provides us with job, feed the country. So everybody in the industry, get the job and come follow me. It don't hurt to the nerd. Link the nurse cause the vaccine work. Get vaccinated. Get. This is a message from the Ministry of Tourism. Get vaccinated. Just get vaccinated. Vaccinated. You're deaf?
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now join the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing in the Observer. Behind the appeal court boom, increased awareness of rights, swift disposal of cases, lawyer fees among factors driving more litigants to High Court. Interesting. Also, Jamaican killed in South London stabbing. 3 women, man knifed to death. Murder suspect arrested. So sad. We also see in the Observer health officials split on probability of 5th COVID-19 wave. Interesting. In the Gleaner, pollution danger From Mobay to Mandeville to Kingston, air quality breaches, global health standard. And then check and Wicon among bidders for Parliament project. And then finally, in the Gleaner, police extortion trial begins with cabbie sex worker saga at the center of the issue. Well, coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our social media question. What are your thoughts on the moving of the mask mandate? What are your thoughts on the moving of the mask mandate? Please leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. We'll be right back.
He knows my name.
Here is your opportunity to connect with someone who will listen, pray, and give guidance. It's the telephone counseling ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church. Please call 876-220-6474. Weekdays between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. and Sundays between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Please talk to someone if you're finding it particularly challenging to cope during this period of global crisis. Someone is waiting for your call. Please reach out today. 876-220-6474. It's the telephone counseling ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church.
This is a reminder that somebody cares. Endorsed by Love 101.
He knows my name.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now join Roisin for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answer today's question. What are your thoughts on the moving of the mask mandate? Roisin.
All right. Let me see if I can start with this one from Phyllis over there in St. Thomas. Go ahead, Phyllis.
Removing of the mask for the mandate. It's no problem because we ourselves should not be running behind to tell us to put on our mask. So if you know that you need protection, protect yourself. You don't need any slave master behind you. Everything somebody have to tell you to do. We all have our own five senses and everybody have five senses. So let us use them up and stop saying that it should be mandated or it should not. Let us protect our own self. We are responsible for ourselves, not the government. It doesn't sponsor us.
All right, let's take another one from Cherry over there in Spanish Town. She says, mandatory mask wearing or not, there are citizens who did not wear a mask. Some still don't know what is social distance. As people, we need to be responsible and do what is right to keep us safe, especially as Christians. Be a doer and not the hearer only. So that one is from Cherry over there in Spanish Town. So those are the comments. Another one here says, I wear my mask in crowded places outside or inside. So those are the comments I'm seeing here. Another person here, Millicent Myers, I believe that we should continue to wear our masks because we are very carefree. We are a very carefree set of people. Another person says, good morning to you all still wear my good morning to you all still wear my mask, no let down my guard. So I'm trying to figure out what this person is saying. She's basically saying all should continue to wear
All should continue, right?
yeah,
Much,
and
right.
not to let down their guard. So thank you for that one, Angela Masters, and all those who left your comments. And some persons are still saying that it's uncomfortable because people in our space no mask and and things like that. So persons are saying people need to be sensible as well. So and persons keep sending their comments at this late time. So we have to continue with the program.
Okay. All right. Well, we want to thank those who responded. As for me, I'm still wearing my mask in public, and I think it is important that we all do so. Thank you very much. Okay, as we segue into the second watch, TikTok TikTok is known worldwide as a fun social media platform. It has now reportedly partnered with a local organization known as Hear the Children's Cry. What's the story behind such a partnership? And what is the nature of the partnership? Also, what are the implications of both parents and children alike? To address these and other related questions, we have joining us Mrs. Betty Ann Blaine, founder of Hear the Children's Cry, and Ms. Kezia Carr, CEO of the National Parenting Support Commission. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning, Dr. Toussaint.
Pleasure having you both
And good
with
morning
us.
to your listeners, of course. Yeah.
Great. Let me begin with you, Mrs. Blaine, founder of Hear the Children's Cry.
Right.
Why is it that TikTok became such a concern for your organization?
Well, let me tell you, over a long time, well, perhaps the last few years, intermittently, I get these videos of children filmed, usually I imagine by adults, but these videos, pornographic videos of children, I've gotten over the last 2 years quite a few, and it's illegal, of course, to produce these kinds of videos, and it's illegal to circulate them. But of course, because of my work, I see these videos from time to time. Earlier this year, around I think sometime near in the end of January of this year, there was one particular video that was sent to me, and I could barely watch it. It was abominable. It involved two small children, two young children, I should say. I suspect maybe around 8 or 9 years old, the two girls. And you could hear a male voice in the background directing them, filming the video. And I saw that it was a TikTok video. And it had gone viral. I mean, people were circulating it up and down the place. I discovered after that it was a quote-unquote lick video. The children were mimicking this particular lick song that I had never even heard about myself. And this is a song done by a female Jamaican dancehall artist. And so when I saw the video, I was absolutely just outraged. I was outraged, and I said, something needs to be done. How do we protect our children? How do we protect these young children? And so this was public. It was in the newspapers, television, and I spoke publicly about it at the time. That was around the beginning of February of this year. And I said to the Jamaican public, I intend to contact TikTok because this is a TikTok video. And clearly, TikTok must have the capacity or the capability to prevent these types of videos on their platform, appearing on their platform and going viral. And so I wrote a letter to TikTok. I wrote a letter to TikTok's head of safety in the United States. And after perhaps 2 or so weeks, I got a response. And that's how we began talking. And
well, before Mrs. Blaine, before you tell us about what transpired after that, let me just bring in Miss Carr before the break. Miss Carr, do you have similar concerns?
Oh, absolutely. And I think just listening to Betty, and good morning, Betty, and how are you?
Good morning.
Right, just listening to her, my concern immediately goes to that horrible parent or horrible adult who thought it cute or thought it was on to not only have two children in such a compromising and in such a compromising position and engaging in activities that they ought not to be engaging in, but also have been prodding them and directing them. That is just horrific. And it's so interesting because just before the school break last week, I was talking to my staff about, the videos that we continue to see that push child pornography. And what is happening in regard to those adults, those parents whose responsibility really is to protect the children, whose responsibility is to nurture them and give them the kind of guidance that they will not be lured into activities that are harmful. And here it is, we have those same persons with those responsibilities who are the ones who are the perpetrators. And I was having that discussion with my staff to say that, we can't just continue to bemoan the issues, but we really have to work a little closer with those agencies who have the responsibility for child protection to see exactly what else we should be doing. So I'm actually very thrilled that Betty has led the way in this regard.
Tell you what, Mrs.
Betty for having
Yes, Ms. Carr.
TikTok. And,
could you just hold that thought, Ms. Carr?
Certainly.
I'm so sorry. Could you hold that thought? We're up on a break. We'll be right back.
50 and over, get the best health plan as well as fabulous discounts. Visit ccrponline.org today or call 469-1944 and live life to the fullest. The time by CCRP is
7:46.
Things you can do online with NCB in 10.6 minutes or less. On your marks, go! Open a bank account. Open an investment account. Get a fast cash or pay advance loan. Sign up for our mobile app and pay bills, make transfers, and check your balances. Get pre-qualified for your dream home. Apply for a credit card. Apply for an auto loan to buy your dream car. Visit www.jncb.com/getdigital to get your financial goals moving NCB fast.
Phoenix Health and Vision Center now has 2 locations. St. Anne's Bay, 65 Main Street beside the health center. And now Shop 30 Champion Plaza, Falma, Trelawney. You heard me right. Shop 30 Champion Plaza, Falma, Trelawney. The only full-service eye care center for all your designer frames and designer glasses. Plus, complete eye care. Book all your appointments now in St. Anne's Bay. Call 876-972-2388. 876-589-8327. For Falmouth and its environs, call this number 876-533-0540. Looking forward to seeing you at both locations. Phoenix Health and Vision Center. Now at Champion Plaza, Falmouth, Trelawney.
I'm advice I don't know a lolly shot and tally. I have a message to everyone. Get vaccinated. Hey, tourism the main driver of the local economy. It provides us with jobs, to help the country. So everybody in the industry, get the job and come follow me. It don't hurt to the dirt. Link the nurse cause the vaccine work. Get vaccinated. Yeah. This is a message from the Ministry of Tourism. Get vaccinated. Just get vaccinated. Vaccinated. You're deaf?
Okay, welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the second watch, we are examining the TikTok Hear the Children's Cry partnership. And in so doing, we have online Mrs. Betty Ann Blaine, founder of Hear the Children's Cry, and Miss Kesia Carr, CEO of the National Parenting Support Commission. Ms. Carr, before the break, you were telling us about your experience and your concerns in this regard.
Yes, I was saying, my concern has to do with those adults, those parents, who have the responsibility to ensure that their children are growing up in environments that are wholesome and that the children feel safe and protected.
Yeah.
And so it contravenes everything that a parent is supposed to do when, in fact, the parent becomes the perpetrator, because I am abhorred that someone, an adult individual who could very well have been a parent or someone with parenting responsibilities, who could be prodding a child, 2 children in this case, to be participating in an act that they really ought not to be participating in. And there are a whole lot of elements to this conversation. We talk about the responsibility of everybody to ensure that our children are not exposed to sexual content or sexually charged content in this case. Because, children tend to just model what they see. The children don't necessarily understand what they're doing. They just know that they see something, and if adults are doing it, and adults are supposed to be setting the example, and if it's okay with adults, then they interpret that as being okay with them. I was also saying, I congratulate Betty Ann for not just bemoaning an issue, but taking steps for corrective actions. We really need to get to those parents and those adults who continue to do things that make our jobs tremendously harder, because we all are in the child development field. We want our children to grow up in environments where they feel safe and where they can just be allowed to thrive and enjoy the childhood experiences that have innocence embedded in those experiences. The part of the process that you allow them to explore and experiment in a very innocent and safe way. And when we rob our children of those experiences, it's amazing what we're doing to them psychologically, emotionally, mentally, and in this case, even physically too, because you're allowing children to now have experiences that they really should not be having. It's so unfortunate. I continue to be horrified. I do believe that we must get to a point where everybody is saying, is calling out. I know so many times we protest about bad roads, and we protest about so many things. I would love to see the time when we can come together as a society and protest these actions so that persons will know it's just not on, and that the responsibility to care for children is the responsibility of the entire community.
Yeah, well said. Okay, Mrs. Blaine, the nature of this partnership and how does it work? How have things been so far?
Okay, so we discovered in talking to TikTok that certainly they're concerned too about child safety on their platform and about videos that would violate they have community guidelines. And people can go on to TikTok's website and read about their community guidelines. But they were concerned, just to tell you that they do have the capacity, as you'd imagine, and the ability to not only pull down these videos instantaneously, but also they know exactly who these users are. I mean, if you're going to use their platform, you have to, of course, pull down their app and you have to complete information. Now, people may give them incorrect information in cases like these, but they know exactly how to detect who that user is, who the person is that made, in this particular case, that leak video. This is so let me just say, what the partnership involves is that Hear the Children's Cry now is now a partner of TikTok's community partner channel, they call it, which gives us quick and immediate access. Do we have a particular email address just for this arrangement? And it gives us immediate access to TikTok's safety team so that they can move quickly to address the problem.
So is it that Hear the Children's Cry has become like a watchdog in this regard?
Well, we've always been watchdogs. What can I say?
For TikTok. For TikTok.
You know?
Yeah, for TikTok.
No, not at all. Not in that regard. But here is what it is. And it's good news for the children of Jamaica and the people of Jamaica that we have a direct link with TikTok. In other words, we can call them. We have their telephone contacts. We have a special email contact to them. And it goes further than that. We, our staff at Hear the Children's Cry got training by TikTok 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
To do what?
Where we learned more about their safety measures. It involves parenting, information about how parents can control and manage what their children see and do and how their children interact with TikTok. But let me tell you what's also very, very important. And this links up with what Casey is saying about adults that are involved in this kind of abuse of children, is that through this partnership, we were able to link TikTok to the Jamaican police, the JCF. And I had begun talking to the head of our cyber crimes unit here in Jamaica, even before I contacted TikTok. And so TikTok has now linked in to the JCF, to the cyber crimes unit, because TikTok has a law enforcement unit as well. So this is good news. This is good news to say to these people that believe that, as Casey say, making these videos, that it's cute or that you can abuse. You can't. We won't allow you to abuse our children this way.
Right.
And we can do something about it. That's what's important.
Right. From your organization's perspective, Ms. Carr, I'm sure that you're happy about this development. What else needs to be done, and how more involved will your organization be in the process?
Well, I think we just have to continue to train parents and to retool it. We can't take for granted that parents know what they're supposed to be doing. And it becomes even harder, or efforts attenuate, when we have so many other elements in society who are dictating what's supposed to be socially acceptable. I think for many, many years, the entertainment industry have kind of decided that they have no responsibility in terms of the content they push on the public. And they don't recognize that a part of the public are children who have to consume what they push out. So we have to make sure that we're continuing to educate parents, we're continuing to explain and meet them where they are, explain to them what we mean by child development, what does nurturance really look like, what are their own responsibilities, and to explain to them too what are child rights. Because our children deserve to be in environments where they feel safe. And what has been described is a very unsafe space, very, very unsafe, that could lead to all kinds of trauma later on in life. So we have to continue the education and the retooling processes. We have to ensure that we have our programs fortified, if you will, in every educational region, so every parent across Jamaica has access to our programs that are free of cost, by the way, so that they can be getting the right information and assistance to be better in their practice. I continue to appeal to our parents that, look, this is the single most important role that you will ever play. It's the single most important job you'll ever have. You're developing a person. There couldn't be anything more important than that. And you have to take it seriously. And we have to call out people when they fall short of these responsibilities and then hold them to account. So I would like to know that the police is following up when they get these videos. And we're actually hearing in the public that, you know, there are repercussions for these actions, because until we're throwing the books at them and we're holding them accountable, but they have to pay for these atrocities, then they will continue. So we have to continue to balance the education of parents, but we also have to call them out and hold them accountable when they breach the children's trust, because children are entrusted in your care, and this is certainly a breach. We have some very sick minds out there who really should not be in the business of parenting either. And we have some persons who they were the channel, if you will, to carry the children into the world. But once they've had the children, it's almost as if they believe they have no responsibility. They've dropped their arms. We have to hold those persons to account as well. And we're calling on the entire society, all communities, to stand up with us, to say, look, the time is now. We will never be this place of choice where we can all live and enjoy certain freedoms, where we have strong families if we continue along this path.
In 1 minute, Mrs. Blaine.
Yeah.
1 minute. Any suggestions to the parents, guardians going forward? 1 minute.
Well, look, next month we're on the cusp of Child's Month, right? Child Month, next month, May. And I'm just calling on all Jamaicans. Let's agree, and you use the word watchdogs. We all should be watchdogs for the children, not just the biological parents, but all of us. All of us. These are our children. Next month is Child Month, and I just want to say, let us declare that we're going to do better. We live in a country where we have a multiplicity of laws to protect children, but we are not protecting the children. And the problem, I believe, it's what Casey is talking about, what's happening in the homes, what's happening with family life. And we can fix those things. We can fix it. So I just want to say, let this be the best Child Month. Because last year and the year before and the year before, every single child month, children have been murdered and abused. And we're saying, really? We just cannot continue this way. So I say, let us all be watchdogs for our children and do everything that we can to protect them.
We have to leave it there. Commendations, congratulations, kudos to you, Mrs. Blaine and your organization, and Ms. Carr and your organization for the good work that you both have been doing. Have a productive day, ladies.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, listeners, for being with us. Join us again tomorrow as we continue to set the stage for a discussion of topical and controversial issues. For information how to get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-959627. Yes, this has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Miss Kathy Gale, and our guests. I'm Dylan Toussaint, reminding you to be purposeful, faithful, thankful, and watchful as I hand you back to Love in the Morning with Rashane Douglas.
Thank you, Dr. Toussaint. Have a great day now.
And to you, my brother.
NHF beneficiaries enrolled for diabetes can get a glucometer with the use of their NHF card. Apply online at nhf.org.jm. The time by the NHF is
8:01 time now for Ford and Faith.